College is a time filled with anticipation, long nights studying, some anxiety, and wonderful discoveries. It's also a time in your life when you truly learn about yourself and who you really are. Young men and women across college campuses will create new friendships which will be amongst the most satisfying and long-term of their lives. Like many other young students new to college, you're unsure of what to expect. A decision you may ask yourself is whether to go Greek. Throughout this program, we'll take a look inside 2 Milwaukee-based fraternities and learn about what it means to be a part of Milwaukee Greek Life.
Greetings all, my name is Emmanuel Spino and I am your host on tonight's edition of Milwaukee Greek Life. While Greeks constitute 8.5% of college students across America, they produce a staggering number of American leaders. To the Center for the Study of College Fraternities, Greeks, especially fraternity members, dominate the elite realms of U.S. politics, business, and law, constituting 76% of U.S. senators, 120 of the Forbes 500 CEOs, 10 in the top 30 alone. Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg was a brother of the Alpha Epsilon Pi fraternity at Harvard. 85% of the U.S. Supreme Court justices since 1910 and 18 U.S. presidents since 1877. President John F. Kennedy was a brother of the Phi Kappa Theta fraternity. We'll begin the program with a look inside the Sigma Chi fraternity, the largest fraternity at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Let's take a look.
I'm Barbour. I'm a senior in the undergrad architecture program here at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and I am the council of the fraternity, which is the president. Sigma Chi has been on campus since 1999. We really pride ourselves on building our brotherhood and the strong connections. Different temperaments, talents, and convictions is one of the first things you learn when you start the pledging process to become a brother. And different temperaments, talents, and convictions in the sense that it's our differences that bring us together, and we really enjoy the differences of each other. We do things such as formal events every year, we do date parties, we do social events, and also a lot of brotherhood events, which I think, talking to a lot of other guys, you'll find are some of the best things ever. One of our main brotherhood events is the Brotherhood Retreat we do once a year. We've gone away to cabins before for a few days. We just have various events, just kind of hang out for a weekend, relax, just be with the bros. Everyone puts their cell phones in a box and we just kind of get away from the world for a while and really get to know each other. Some social events we do. When we got installed as a chapter, we had a formal at the Milwaukee Art Museum in the Calatrava edition, which was an amazing experience. And it's just nice getting all dressed up in a suit and a dress and going out for a night. I think the biggest thing about being in a leadership position within a fraternity is being able to take criticism and being able to turn that into something positive. That's something that not many people in our generation have had to deal with growing up. We've kind of grown up in this, everyone wins, everyone gets a trophy kind of lifestyle, and unfortunately that's not how the real world is. And when you're in a role of leadership within a fraternity of, let's say 30, 40 guys of very strong-minded men, they really challenge you and challenge your ideals and your convictions, and I think that's something that you can't put a price on. It's something you will not learn in any college course.
My name is Kostuch. I'm a second-year student here at UWM. I am studying business, marketing, and finance, and I am the recruitment chair for Sigma Chi fraternity. Every spring and fall we do a rush, and that gives anyone an opportunity to come out, meet any brothers, ask any questions you may have of us. Through the union, we get pamphlets, we get flyers, we hang up posters. Throughout the union, we have banners. Rush is kind of a Greek-wide event. We personally do a week of tabling, which is where we're at the union, we're kind of handing out flyers, letting people know about our events, letting people know about what to anticipate. We're getting contact information, and then the following week we actually have rush events. So the FIFA tournament, this is going to be a little bit of a crazier event. This one's open to the public at Sandberg Flicks. We're going to be hosting a FIFA and Madden tournament. We're going to have 2 1-versus-1 games going. We're going to have a 2-on-2 tournament going. It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a little crazy, but I think in the end it'll all be worth it. We'll have a couple pool tables open, and it's once again just a good way to interact with the brothers. It can be a little competitive, a little fun, but at the same time it's a good way to kind of meet all the brothers, ask any questions you have in a comfortable, safe environment for everyone. So the Super Bowl and Hookah Night will be our last night open to the public. It will be an awesome time. We held the same event last year. We're going to have 3 or 4 TVs with the game on. We're going to have pizza, food for everyone. We'll have a couple hookah stations in case you want to smoke hookah, kind of relax a little bit. The following week is called Preference Week. Those are guys that we really feel fit in well. They get an invite back. We don't have a set mold that we look for. We don't look for guys that are a certain height or have a certain hair color or a certain shoe size, but we do look for guys who have certain morals. So you have to be a man of good character, student of variability with ambitious purposes, congenial disposition, possessive good morals, and having a good sense of honor. So the biggest thing we focus on is morals, and we find that you get a vast array of guys because of that. We have brothers that are in the LBGT community. We have deaf brothers. We have brothers that were born in Africa, Spain, all different parts of the world. But they all have that. They all have the same morals. They all want the same thing. They all want to better themselves. They all are constantly striving for a higher education, for better knowledge, to be a good person, to do the right thing. And that's really what we focus in on here at Sigma Chi.
I was always really involved in high school, and I was looking for a means to get involved again. And I was kind of skeptical because I had friends in fraternities, wasn't sure if it'd be a good fit for me.
At first I was a little reluctant to join. Didn't seem like I was gonna fit in, or I was gonna be accepted. But as I met the brothers of Sigma Chi, I really enjoyed the atmosphere they did. They kind of accepted you for who you are.
Really practice what you preach kind of guys. They weren't just looking for like vindication, validation, justification of their actions. They really put a lot of time and effort and care into the projects they worked on.
Academically alone, the fraternities benefited me by having someone to study with. In my major, I think I have at least 4 or 5 different brothers that are mechanical engineers like myself. And having people that are older than you and younger than you both give you an opportunity to learn from people above you and be able to mentor those below you.
Socially, I've met a lot of great people. There's such a variety of individuals within the organization that I really feel like I never would have met if I didn't join. I have a lot of deaf friends now, and I did not know any ASL. I was very self-conscious about meeting them, but they helped me learn, and now they're some of my best friends on campus. And I never would have that great opportunity had it not been for Sigma Chi.
Give us the chance the same way you give a church group a chance, or the same way you give a youth group a chance, the same way you'd give a basketball team a chance. Greek life is not for everyone, just as sports is not for everyone, just like book clubs are not for everyone. Come to an event, talk to people, see what, and make your own decision. Let our actions speak to our values.
In high school, I never really had a friendship or a group of friends that I really bonded with. But with Sigma Chi, I just have so many experiences with the brothers where it truly is a friendship.
Just seeing how close everybody is, seeing how everybody interacts with each other, it's a really awesome feeling, a really awesome thing to be a part of.
It goes further than, calling someone your best friend. I mean, calling them your brother is so much deeper than that.
It's a lifelong friendship, without a doubt.
What I remember most is just coming into it so skeptical, thinking, yeah, I might make some good connections, but then just being utterly surprised with how close I've become with all my brothers.
The bonds you create with your brothers in this fraternity transcend normal relationships that you have with your friends growing up, or even close family members. There's things you go through being away from your family, being in college, that necessarily your family can't understand, but you have your brother right next to you who's going through the exact same thing to always help you through it.
Organization. We will be discussing the philanthropy that Sigma Chi is involved in, and we will also hear about how Sigma Chi's rush went overall. Next, producer Israel Garcia takes us inside the world's largest cultural fraternity of Alpha Epsilon Pi. Let's take a look.
I am currently a 4th-year student studying film and advertising at UW Milwaukee. I am a founding father, current president, and the president who chartered Alpha Epsilon Pi Milwaukee's chapter. The fraternity was here in between the 50s and the 70s, and then it shut down about midway through the 70s. It came back with our year when I was a freshman in 2012.
Alpha Epsilon Pi, on a national level, is a Jewish fraternity. It's a social organization and a cultural one. By social, we mean that we interact with other organizations on campus, and we, in a nutshell, like to have a good time and make events that make it so we do have a good time. But the cultural side also means that we have a focus on Jewish ancestry.
I can tell you that we have a very strong Jewish professionalism. It's just been a huge part of what makes us unique.
We are Jewish, but that doesn't mean that every member is, and by no means that's true.
My name is Matt Sizemore. I am a freshman at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and I am a newly initiated brother of AEPi. So AEPi is a cultural fraternity which happens to be a Jewish fraternity, but they also recruit non-Jews. And I happen to be one of those people that is a non-Jew. And from what I can say, from my experience, is that the brothers have not treated me any differently than if I was Jewish. They still care for me the same, they still love me the same, they still give me the same brotherly love that they do with all their AEPi brothers. I decided to join AEPi because I wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself, and I definitely wanted to develop a better sense of brotherhood, and I wanted to expand my horizons. Throughout my first semester so far being a brother, my fraternity experience, I can say, has definitely been amazing. I've definitely gained a lot of social connections. I have definitely broke out of my shell. I was really shy when I first came here, and it's definitely something that's helped me it's helped me better myself as a person.
Honestly, I feel like college would have been so lackluster and not a great experience if I didn't join a fraternity in AEPi specifically. The experiences that I will most remember, that are most memorable to me, are the guys that I meet in AEPi. The first day you meet them, they're like just a normal stranger like you meet on the street. But as you get to know them, as you get to hang out with them, you create bonds, you create brotherhood, which is a huge thing in AEPi. And the people that you meet are the guys that are going to be at your wedding.
In numerous ways has being in a fraternity benefited me. I've traveled around the world. I've gone to Washington, DC to become, a leader. I've went to leadership conferences. One of our goals and values is learning about our culture. And so what better place to learn about our history and culture than in Israel?
What I'll remember most about being in Alpha Epsilon Pi, the Mu Epsilon chapter, is when we got chartered.
One of the greatest times of my life actually was our chartering ceremony.
That was the event and the ceremony that we were building up to since the day that we founded.
It was really a moment in my life where a group of guys worked really hard to reach a goal that they've always wanted to.
That was the only thing on our minds for most of the time that we were a thing since we became a thing.
On three, everybody.
I got it. 2, 3.
To me, the Mu Epsilon chapter signifies everything that is great about AEPi. This is a chapter that was dormant for decades in a location with a tiny Jewish community. But despite all odds, AEPi has once again become a strong force on campus and in the Jewish community of Milwaukee.
We are here, a chartered chapter, once again. What is next? Because this is not the finale, this is just the beginning.
We talk about a lot in AEPi about the term brotherhood and family. And when you lose a family member, it's very hard. But when you have a brotherhood of the people that are standing up right now, it makes life just a little bit easier.
Because where you have your brothers back, no matter how hard times are and how great times are, we're family.
But also thanks to this fraternity, I have found people to share things with that I never would have otherwise, and to be a listener to those people in return. I have found gentlemen that I know will be at my wedding day, as I will be in theirs as well. All in all, I truly have found a home away from home, all thanks to this fraternity.
Being in a fraternity is somewhat like putting money in the bank. As you put money in the bank, you get more money out.
And you cannot tell me that it was not worth every drip of sweat to say we are where we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. No more waiting. The Mu Epsilon chapter.
Welcome back. I am joined here today from the Milwaukee Public Television Studios with Chris Kurst and Alan Gilman of Sigma Chi. And also joining us today is Danny Graybow from AEPi. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. I'm glad you're here with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
you.
Chris,
Yeah, thank you.
my first question's for you. In package 1, we covered a little bit of the Sigma Chi Rush. How was the final turnout of that event?
Great. No, I mean, our rush as a whole turned out fantastic. We had a good showing at our events, and we walked away with a good number of pledges currently.
Okay, do you do that at the beginning of every semester?
Yep. No, we have we do 365 rush, or we're trying to at least. So we do rush fall and spring, so it's
Okay.
a year-round thing.
All right, cool. So how many new members did you recruit this semester?
Sure. We walked away with 10 pledges.
Oh, nice. So what's next for those members?
Sure. Well, currently they're going through our pledge program. They're in week 2 right now out of a 7-week program. And so what pledging is for Sigma Chi is preparation for brotherhood. So when we bid somebody, give them a bid, we invite them to become a part of our brotherhood. And so that's not asking them to become a pledge. It's just preparing them for brotherhood. Pretty
Okay.
much is what the
Just
pledge
become
program. Yeah,
part
to
of the
learn
family.
what Sigma Chi is, what our values are, what it means to be a Sigma Chi, and kind of everything that encompasses Sigma Chi as well.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So Alan, what does philanthropy mean to Greek life?
So each organization chooses like a charity that they identify most with, and what we try to do is we really try to give back. Not common saying in our fraternity is like, what you put into this fraternity, you get 2 times out more back. And one way we get, that back is we want to give back to, people that really need it, and people we care about. This year we're giving back to Wheaton Franciscan, and it's a really good time.
Okay. So Wheaton Franciscan, any other philanthropy that Sigma Chi has been involved in?
Yeah, we actually help, anytime another Greek organization asks us, hey, do you want to show up to this philanthropy event, we tend to show our support, everyone from other fraternities to other sororities. And also we have joined Huntsman Cancer Foundation, and they're our main one, but we decided to change it up a little bit this year to Wheaton Franciscan, but Huntsman Cancer has been really important to us.
Yeah, this year we are doing Derby Days, which is an annual thing we do. It's a week-long event with numerous smaller events like a car smash, benefit night. This year we're doing a 5K run, charity run on April 16th, along with Wheaton Franciscan Hope Fund. We're also donating to the Fisher House Foundation for veterans and all that as well. So that's something annually that we do.
Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. Now, Danny, you are the founding,
one of the founding fathers.
One of the founding fathers of AEPi. What does that feel like? Just to have that opportunity to do that, and what drove you to want to start AEPi?
Yeah. So I mean, we used to be on campus a couple of decades ago, and when we weren't on anymore, it was a hardship for our fraternity because it's always a hurtful thing to lose our placement at any school or university. So, as much as you want to say that I was starting something, I was kind of restarting something. I mean, more properly, we're like a refounding father, considering we've been there before. And what made me want to take part in that is because not only would I be able to, emphasize myself as a leader to future generations, but I'd also be able to follow in the footsteps of other leaders at our chapter and in the national org. So I kind of felt like I was getting a little bit of benefit from both sides there.
Okay. So in the video, you were saying you met so many great people.
Yeah.
I'm sure you all met so many great people, and you were all ultimately glad you've all joined fraternities. How does that feel?
Well, I would say that you have an opportunity in college to meet friends no matter what group you're in, but like what was mentioned with some of these brothers in previous conversations that we've been able to see here, is that when you're in a group with guys that have the same morals as you, it becomes less about just friendship that can be based on when you play basketball together or
you're in a book club together. It's based on something that's deep, and I feel like the big thumbs up to that is that you're pretty much guaranteed to have those friends for the rest of your life.
That's good. So, lastly, I want to talk about misconceptions about fraternities. We've all seen wild party movies, Neighbors, Blue Mountain State. What are, where do those start, those stereotypes?
I think they came from kind of the old kind of ways of fraternities, so back how it used to be, and especially down south in like Big Ten schools, that's kind of the lifestyle there. I'm not saying that all fraternities are like that. We especially aren't, especially here. It's a different atmosphere at UW Milwaukee, and it goes for every college that Greek life is different and varies. But more so here, I can speak for both our fraternities that that's not something that we kind of resonate with. I mean, sure, we're college kids. It's kind of part of the college experience, but that's probably the smallest component of what we represent. What we're here on campus for is to grow and better ourselves as individuals and as organizations, and just try to give back and gain leadership experience and all that to prepare ourselves for the professional world. So it's just really a growing experience is what I would like to equate Sigma Chi as well as AEPi to.
Okay. Oh, that's what really intrigued me is when during the Sigma Chi he said, give us a chance like a basketball team or a church group, and I think that is fair. The media really blows stuff out of proportion.
It's hard to break the stereotypes, and until like before I joined Sigma Chi, I had the same kind of notion that it's just all drinking, all partying, that's all we do. But it's completely opposite in it. I didn't realize that until I actually went out to a Rush event and was introduced into what Sigma Chi stands for, what we actually do. And it's hard to communicate that to the rest of the UWM student population. And so that's probably one of our biggest obstacles in terms of breaking those misconceptions and stereotypes, is just putting out there what we actually represent and what Greek life means to us here.
Okay. So Danny, do you have any tips for people interested in joining any fraternities?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that if you are thinking of yourself as someone who'd like to be a bro in a frat, then you're not looking for the right experience. If you're looking to be a brother in a fraternity, then you're definitely going towards the right goals. I just went on a retreat to Peoria, Illinois, as part of like a regional thing with a bunch of other chapters in the Midwest. And one thing that they really hammered home that they do every year, and that I think any chapter can take back to their fraternity, is when you're in a pledge process, you're not trying to make someone a better pledge, you're trying to make someone a better brother.
Okay.
So all those misconceptions that we were talking about are based on stereotypes that don't make someone better for the group in the long run. It just makes them like a punching bag. And I would say that that's not at all what any Greek organization on campus, Sigma Chi's, AEPi's, anyone's, represents at all. I mean, you're trying to join a group that gives you lifelong ambition and gives you just a really good group of gentlemen along the way to do it with.
Okay. So, Alan, if people want to find out more about Sigma Chi, where should they go?
So usually we have a rush week every semester, and we try to put up as much advertising as we can. As Sean said in an earlier section, we have our table set up and with all of our letters.
Well, what happens if they miss the rush though?
They can still contact us.
Okay.
And we try to accommodate as many people as we can.
Yeah, we also have a website we're working on. We just try to be as involved as possible with the campus to try, to get our name out there. In terms of like philanthropy, so like Derby Day is a week-long event. We kind of try to get our name out there, and still, we welcome people to be a part of our fraternity, even if it's not during the rush period, just to come out and experience who we are.
Okay, and Danny, AEPi, if someone happens to miss the rush, where could they?
Sure. So, when we're in a recruitment period, we definitely have a selection of events, and if you can't make it to one, then just try and make it to at least a couple of them, because the whole idea of Rush is that we're trying to prove to the greater community if we're right for you.
Then during the pledge process, we see if you're right for us, but during any type of open rush at the beginning, I would just say as long as you're committed to, you know, showing up to an event or texting someone in the fraternity saying why you couldn't make it to the event, as long as you're being outgoing, we don't feel like we have to come to you, because that's what the events are doing already.
Okay.
So we shouldn't have to like reel you in past just during the events themselves.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for coming down here today. And as for the viewers at home, thank you all very much for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Emmanuel Espino, and thanks for watching. Good night.